to another live episode of Outlaw Radio right here on YouTube. Any other platform you might be following me on at this point, but probably just YouTube. I am, of course, since you're looking to see me right now, I am, of course, where am I? There I am. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Are we going to go? You son of a bitch. There I am. Hi, everybody. I am the Outlaw Knight. I am the 30-year Central Canadian pro wrestling guy who's just hanging out here on a Wednesday night to talk about a couple of different things. If it's your first time here, welcome to Outlaw Radio. I will be talking about fitness and everything. Vulcan Nerd, welcome to the live chat. Thank you for being here. You know what, let's just cut right into the chase. I'll do my plugs and bullshit afterwards. If it's your first time here, I've been a pro wrestler for a long time. I'm also an author. I got a bunch of books. I do a bunch of different things, and I'm very engaged in that regard. But I'm going to first and foremost take off the hat. That's right. Guys in the chat are going to get me going tonight. Thank you, Vulcan Nerd. I'm going to take the hat off and get my spectacles back on, and we're going to just get going. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, my first guest, and I'm hoping this goes live, so if anybody's in the chat and you're listening to this, you can't hear him, please let me know. This is my good friend, Jordan Cieciwa. Jordan and I are longtime buddies. Jordan, thank you for hanging out with me tonight. How are you doing, buddy?
Fantastic. And you just said long time. I was like, has it been 20 years?
It's been 20 years. Give or take. It's 2026, right? So
yeah.
You were working on the... Brian DeLorean, thank you for showing up, buddy. In the comments there. You were working. I was working at A Channel before it turned to City TV.
Oh, yeah.
College, right? So that was...
Yeah.
I graduated college in 2003. I got on as an AV producer and then got in as the... there we go. All right. Oh, Jordan's loud and I'm low. Okay, well, I'm going to eat my microphone a little bit here, so sorry about that. My systems is all good. This is going to look very awkward, but that's okay.
Man,
but yeah, it's been that long because you were training Jimmy Mack and a bunch of other guys as well at the time, and that's when I first met you because you were doing the spots in the Big Breakfast.
Yes.
And you were there. You and I worked a little bit one of those days after Jimmy Mack got hit by a bus, and so he couldn't do the exercises, so I had to do that stuff.
Yeah, and I remember them just being like, "This house is gonna lift some weights," and I was just like, "Here we go." Let's watch it work. I could have left I could have lifted the Guns Bakery bar is what I could have done if we're being honest, but that's okay. Yeah.
No, so quick bits here. I've known Jordan now for 20 years, which is crazy to say.
Yeah.
Jordan, I've known in that time, we started off as fitness buddies, and then that turned into fitness professional talk, which we did a fair bit of.
Yeah.
We've gone and worked out a number of times over the course of the years, which we have not done in a while for many reasons. We'll get into it, mostly because there's a lot of gray in our hair, and we both have families and kids and shit, so that makes it tough. And we also connect a little bit over the fight game. So Jordan, for the benefit of of those with flash photography, but we're not doing that tonight. For anybody that's here who wants to know a little bit more about you, what about your professional resume in the last little bit have I missed here that you want me to clear up on there?
You know what? Nothing, because it just feels so long. Yeah, no, I did the kinesiology thing to university for that.
Yeah.
Started working with the pro athletes. 25 years ago. Then wound up Krzysztof Sosinski, if anyone remembers the Polish experiment. He and I went to the UFC. He fought, and I was just like, I tagged along to make sure he stayed healthy.
Yeah.
And wound up at Team Quest. Okay. And if anyone knows the game, that's Dan Henderson and a whole bunch of those incredible athletes.
Absolutely.
And we went the whole dozens and dozens of years doing that and mixing that in. Along the way, I started to realize that not everyone wants to be a pro athlete. And it's funny because I do a lot of public speaking and work with these big corporations and go in and get their executive staff healthy. And it was those funny moments as I passed 40.
Yes. Yes, we are past 40.
where I used, the sessions used to be like, oh, you can do it, everyone can do this, get in there, and you too could fight in the MMA or fight in the UFC and whatever. and then it slowly started to change. It's like, take care of your body, go for walks.
Oh my God, it's so true. It's true. Yes, we are well seasoned, as Velgander says in the chat.
Yeah,
It's a true thing. Well, it's funny you say that because I'm, as part of my YouTube journey here that I'm doing as I'm transitioning to the next phase of whatever the hell it is that I'm doing. I'm every Monday I'm trying to upload a match that I call From the Vault, where I'm pulling stuff out of my VHSs
yeah.
and I'm trying to upload them digitally. So Mondays I'm going through a whole bunch of stuff from like 1999 to 2005 of like wrestling matches, back during a period of time where I thought this guy is out of shape and doesn't look good and can't do anything. I look back at this stuff now and I'm like, dear God, right? Who was this strapping, skinny, fat man who could wrestle for 25 minutes at a high pace and run? And I think back about it now, like I know what you're talking about, right? Yeah, I think, those are the days when, my workouts were easily 2-a-days just because I'd get up before I went to work at the TV station. I do an hour of cardio hard, go in and work all day, go back afterwards, meet my ex-wife there, and then I'd still like throw iron for an hour and a half with my big buddy Rick. I'm not sure you ever met, but that's okay. But like I think about that, then like still wrestling twice a week sometimes, and then still going in for sessions with you. And I'm like thinking, who was that? 25-year-old kid who could go all day, right? And it gives you a different look on life. Whereas now, here I am, and I've talked about this on here before, so I apologize for that. Yes, that's right. Yes, Vulcaner. So, as one of my guys in the chat group is talking about, yes, we have to eat fewer fried chickens, have a salad more often, for God's sake, which is what I did tonight, to be honest with you. I had a big old salad and a bunch of fish for that. No, was it air fried battered fish? It sure was, and I don't care. You gotta live a little.
You gotta get it down. You gotta get it down somehow, though.
You gotta get it down somehow.
Fish tastes horrible.
Yeah, God, but it's true. But it's but I think about my workouts now, and I was just laughing about it today. I spend 20 minutes warming up now, and I'm not like the on the bike or just getting the blood flow. I'm talking like my rotator cuff is shot, so if I don't do 6 exercises just to get that thing going, I can't get the rotation all the way around. I got to do some real stretching on my legs because I'm 3 years away from a knee replacement. I know it's coming, right? So it's just it's the curse of it. As I keep saying, it's the curse of the life I lived when I was 25, where I said I knew by the time I was 50 I was going to be paying for this, and lo and behold, this November I will be 50, and the piper is being paid.
Yeah, 45. You know what's funny? It's because I remember showing up to Temecula, California.
Yeah.
And this is where, and the best part about it, right, is it's, well, you've done it too, Japan, right?
Yeah.
Where you go to these hotbeds.
Oh, yeah.
And like I say, I went out there with Christoph Sosinski. We had plans. When I show up there, I loved jiu-jitsu. I loved kickboxing. I just wasn't good, which was,
humbling.
Well, it's because two things in my career. So let's back this up even a little further. Where in university, fortunately, I got my act together at a high school. And
good for you.
Did well on the grades, right?
Yeah.
So I get this placement where I get to go work with the Vancouver Canucks and their strength conditioning coach.
That's right.
Yeah, Pete Twist. So this is 2002.
Yeah.
And you show up there. Trevor Linden is playing hockey. That's Dan Kluche is the goalie. The Sedin twins are rookies.
Yeah, I know, right?
They don't
Think about it now, right? Yeah.
Not one of them's in the league anymore.
I know. Good Lord.
But you show up there and I'm having a blast doing all this work. But this was the first time I ever realized what pro was.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'd never been at that. I'd worked junior. Yeah. I'd seen WHL. Yeah. I'd seen whatever. And I remember I'm sitting there on the bench and I got brought up by the strength conditioning coach to be the athletic therapy assistant on these things. And I will never forget. This is before the line 1 and line 2 guys are out. This is the guys trying still to make the roster.
Yeah.
And are the guys that are like up and down. And the level, the speed, the attention to detail, the quick steps, the first step fitness, and I'm just watching this and I'm like, I played hockey.
Yeah.
It didn't look like this.
My come to Jesus moment on that was like, I thought it was pretty hot shit after 7 years in the Indies, like in Canada, right? I'd got myself leaned out. I was able to keep up with like the Mentelos and the Kenny Omegas and all the guys who were junior heavyweights at the time. I was not as muscular as I wanted to be, whatever. But then I get my first WWE tryout at the old barn before they turned it down to the Winnipeg Arena.
Yeah.
And I walked backstage for the first time. And I just finished a program with Chi Cruz. I just finished a program with a bunch of guys. I walk in to see Wavell Star, who's an old friend of mine, one of the easily the fittest freaking guy I've ever met in my entire life. And I get there and I realize, oh, that's the baseline.
You're not anybody yet.
No, right? Like I got walked in the door because I was 8 years in. I'd had about 500 matches, and I'm 6.5 feet tall.
Yeah.
So they wanted to see me because I was a giant. But then they got me in there, and I realized, okay, there was a level above where I was at. I'm not saying that I was so good. I'm saying that for the level I was at, top shelf.
Yeah.
For the level where the guys were making real money, I had a long way to go.
So I show up in Temecula, and I, you try to downplay it. I was like, oh, I'm the strength coach.
Yeah.
But I'd had a lifetime of martial arts,
yep.
and I'm from the era where kickboxing wasn't the powerhouse it was. So I'm like Joe Rogan. I started in Taekwondo. It's
careful how you say that.
Joe Rogan and I studied Taekwondo.
Fair enough. Sorry. And did your own research, I'm sure. Go on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so, but this is right. So, I got that background. Then I switched to kickboxing. I want to say, like I kickboxed with somebody that said they kickboxed.
Yeah.
At the end of high school and into the first year of university, where I realized this person. Then I found a better coach and whatever. But I show up with all of this experience, and I'll never forget, because same problem you have. I'm 6'2".
Yeah.
And when I went out to California, that was a 230 very fit pounds.
Yeah.
Strong, I thought. And I'll never forget. I didn't want to do sparring. I was like, no, I won't spar with you guys, because a bad athlete sparring with pros can hurt them accidentally.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Like, you're more of a danger to them because they're expecting you to be sort of at a better level.
Yeah.
Which is the most ridiculous thing to say. You think that they're just going to like walk over on you, but the truth is, they might trip and fall because you're too slow.
Yeah.
You never know.
Or you do something so stupid that they're just like, well, that, you catch them in a move because you're just like, why would you have done that? And it works. But you hurt anyway. So I said no sparring, but we'll do some drills. And I'll never forget a guy named Terry Sokaju. Yeah. And Sokaju he did his thing in Pride and got some knockouts and did some phenomenal work there. And he's a judo guy, right? So we were doing these drills, and like he's 6 feet tall, so I got 2 inches on him. He's got a little reach, and I'll never forget. We're doing this drill, and he moved, and he disappeared. He just shot in and disappeared, and I was just, I'll never forget being like, my brain being like, where did he? I didn't get to go. Just where did? And I was in the air. Yeah. And then I was 3 feet on the other side of him. He had tossed me, and he was just like, what? And this was he was expecting, as he did this bump, he was expecting me to do anything other than fly through the air. And that's when I realized I don't belong here. But I had, I got to do some. I drilled a lot with them because it was to develop strength and conditioning. Yeah. At that, this is 20 years ago in MMA. No one's doing it, but I said, like, I got to know what you're doing so we can program around it.
Right. Like 20 years ago, guys are still just like basically their whole. Like their whole goal was basically like, I'm just going to go in and do more fight training, right? Yeah. And not learn how to like fix their weaknesses and fix their joints and fix those. Yeah,
explosive hips, triple extension on their poles, and anyway, none of that existed. Dan Henderson, God bless his mighty soul, worked out like a 1970s and 80s wrestler, because that's what he was, where it's like you got out 100 reps of shoulder press because your muscles cannot stop going. And you're like, that's not exactly what we're doing here. You do the sport to get that endurance, and we develop some power and some explosiveness.
Right.
That's what we can do in the weight room.
Right.
And he was just like, no.
So sometimes the old school ones are never going to change, right?
And this is the thing about sport is you can find a human that is just so mentally powerful that they win, and they could do it easier. but they're laser locked in, and it's fun to watch. It's a beautiful thing to see that's and Dan would have been one of those people that like could have been a Navy SEAL, could have been whatever he did, he would have won. Right. And
like there is something to be said for like that I don't want to call it God-given, but like that purely like biological, whether it's mentally biological or physically or spiritually biological in some way, it factor that you cannot describe. Like all the training and all the preparation in the world can get you to a certain point. You can train two people exactly the same way, but if that one person has that one thing that is never say die, no matter what, you broke their leg, they don't care. Right? You've outsmarted them 10 ways to Sunday with holds and locks that you think that, you've mastered in everybody, and somehow they've powered out of it, they've resisted it, or they're the 1% that you can't beat. And that's terrifying when that happens.
And it's the reason that I love that you're doing this.
Oh, really?
Because there's this creativity that I don't think people know for sure. None of your fans know about you, because they see it, they see the books. Yeah. So anyone that can write and be creative, and they know you love the greatest shows on earth, like Star Wars and all this kind of stuff.
Boy, do I!
It's this thing that the balance. Later on, when you meet some of these pros, and you get to see them age, and they have nothing else, and then they only have the memories. It's funny because it's like we've gotten to that point where you did it, right? Like you did some really cool things that are just memories, and the thing that really brings the joy is creation, right? Like, is that creative making something. And it's like, it was immediately when you said you want to join me. By the way, episode 14.
Yeah.
I'm only invited on 14.
Well, it took me about 8 to make sure I actually could do this.
Fair.
And then I did the one last week where Pistachio, we did it, we recorded in advance, and I fucked the audio so hard that, you can see his face and we are clearly talking, but all you hear is me, which selfishly I'm fine with. But, right on the grander scale, it's a trick. It's a trick thing, like I said. So
yeah.
Just, go on.
The point of that is finding creative outlets is the thing that no one talks about anymore.
Right.
Because it's like, it doesn't have to be, a million people don't have to watch this for it to be quality. And you've got people in your chat, you've got people that are going to check this out, and it's something where doing is the most important part, right? Because Seth MacFarlane, the creator of Family Guy.
Yep.
One of the greatest interviews that I ever did that probably prevented me from having a legitimate mental breakdown in my late 30s and 40s, when I was like, I really thought my career would be massive, right? Because I screen tested for The Biggest Loser, and I don't know if anyone remembers that show.
I remember.
But I got asked. The funny part of that is, I'm working in California. Everyone always knows someone. I wind up, one of the people that I'm training in California looks at me and she says, "You know what? You got to meet my friend Richard."
Yeah.
So, sure, I'm not doing anything later. I train the athletes in the morning, do a few things here and there, train, and it's Richard Simmons, right? Like, you're like, you're royalty as far as it goes.
Oh yeah.
Little nuts, but royalty. Like, this is a man that has made cash $1 billion off of the fitness industry.
Absolutely.
He sold so many, moving to the oldies, sweating to the oldies, that he had cash.
Oh yeah.
Not just stocks and bonds. Anyway, you meet this guy, and I'm like, okay. And then he gets me a tryout to go on air, and I just don't get the part because they're like, we already have.
Yeah. So many coaches.
Yeah. Well, they were looking for the new coach. Dolvet got it, and obviously it's like, you've been there. This is the thing about pro sport. You can be the best, but you don't fit the team.
Right.
Or you're a house. Like, you in your 30s, like, just a monster. But if somebody needs a speedy little guy, and that's what they're trying to fill,
yep.
Sorry, that's pro sport.
And it's funny. It's funny. I knew you were down in California for a while. I knew you had some shots. I didn't know that you'd screen tested for that. And I think you probably dodged a bullet. Like, financially, no. But,
Financially, no.
It's called like it is, right? But, like, what is your soul worth? Because I watched the documentary about that, and I remember watching that show a couple of times and going...
And that might have been it, because in those screen testing before and after, when they were chatting, there was conversations about who you are, what you do, how you feel. And I'm like, I unfortunately am a small town kid that loves the human more than the results.
Right.
So you're right. Maybe the universe was saving me from something. But where I was going with this is the McFarland thing with his interview, and I'll have to send this to you because it was one of those moments. He first starts off talking. He was supposed to be on a plane 9/11, the plane that crashed into the building. He was supposed to be on that.
I'd heard that story. Yeah.
So he goes into that, and then he starts talking about the fact that he's like, Family Guy isn't the best show. It's not the best art. It's really funny jokes. There's people that are just as funny or more funny. He's just like, but for some reason, and he said, pure luck is all I can come up with. Pure luck I didn't get on the plane. Pure luck that this is there. He's like, that's what it boils down to get the money part of it.
Right.
But to be creative, to do your thing, anyone can do that. And why wouldn't you? So what if no one watches it? So what if no one... And this is what drives me nuts about content that is being consumed, is it's all this nonsense about rise and grind, and I'm like, get out of here. My daughters are the most important thing.
Okay, well then now here, before we transition, because like I'm glad we've just naturally gone there. Right? I just want to say to the Brandalorian in the chat, going off of our Roganism, I feel quite strongly about chemtrails, and I think that they can stay where they are, unless we're talking about certain chemicals that involve syringes, and then we would never talk about anything like that in this channel.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks everyone for joining in. Thanks for everyone hanging out live with us. I really appreciate that. So now, as we're at a point now where neither of us are now, as we've said before, the young men who are trying to live by that rise and grind mentality. We're not the guys that are trying to, just as recently as 3 years ago, the lady in my life, well, wasn't that long ago? Anyways, used to bug me for my constant, coming out of the pandemic, no days off. There's a point in time there where I was working 45, 50 hours a week, and I went 38 days straight without skipping the gym. You know what I mean? Right? I was doing it because I felt like I had to make up for lost time. I was struggling, and I had dealt with the same sort of crap that all of us dealt with, like 18 months, 2 years of lockdown. I was dealing with some marital strife at the time. I was dealing with a lot of extra stress. My dad was dying. Like, a whole bunch of shit was going on all at once. And at some point in time, I hit a wall that just forced me to sit there and go, what is the reason I'm really doing this? Right? And you and I are of that generation. We joke, we went to the gym to maintain our sanity. Well, it turns out I was going to the gym to maintain what was left of my sanity. And I was fraying myself apart at the seams, living on 2.5, 3 hours of sleep at a time, going balls out, still trying to deadlift 500 pounds, still trying to bench 315, still trying to do squats even though my knees are shit, but just trying to get through it all, because up here I could not accept that, as you said, my life was where it was. At that point, I'm like, I've been in a long relationship for a long time. I've been married for a long time. I should be in a better position, right? I've got this house, I've got this car, I've got this beautiful little girl who I love to death. I've got, at that point in time, 2 books. I'm almost a third one I was ready to put out into the market, right? I was, 25 years of professional wrestling career, gone way further than I ever thought I possibly could. And I was god fucking damn miserable. I thought I was a useless, worthless failure. And now, with the benefit of like some therapy, some time away, a better relationship, which has been fantastic, some perspective, and getting in a position where I'm allowed to sleep for fucking 8 hours a night. Most nights I'm only getting about 6 tonight, but in general, I'm able to find the perspective and the space to go, I, like everybody out there that I knew, was suffering with mental health issues. And even though prior to that I'd been in some therapy and I'd done some couples therapy and done some stuff before, I never really looked at myself and said, why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you treating yourself worse than you'd ever treat the person you hated more in your entire life? Right? So, which is why I've, in the last couple of years, as I've been rebuilding myself mentally, I've tried to find better outlets for myself. Like, all kidding aside, I am, yes, the best goddamn heavyweight wrestling champion in all of Canada right now.
Always will be, yeah.
Right. I wasn't forever, amen. But,
Yeah.
By the end of this year, it'll be the end of 3 decades of me being in the ring.
Yeah.
Right? That's a hell of an accomplishment. I'm not sure I'm going to make it to 31 years. So it's like, the books have been great, but it's slow, right? It's been very important to me, as you said, to continue my creative process, right? Like I thank you everybody that's liking and joining in here tonight. That's really grateful. Thank you very much. It's been very, very, very important to me to have outlets, right? Like as the gym has changed to being a little bit more of, I'm actually going to worry about my health. Try to get my blood pressure down, right? Try to make sure that, hey, maybe it's okay to have a little bit more salad. It's okay to be a big guy. I've been fine being a big guy for a long time. I'm almost 50. I don't need to be over 300 pounds. I can bring it, I can dial it back and, and try to get back into the Jordan Cieciwa fitness regime. I'm going to be one fit city over there. My point is the fact that I think you're right. I think part of the mental health crisis I think is happening in this world today, and it's not just like the loneliness epidemic or whatever the incels are saying because they're completely unfuckable because they're assholes. It's really about call it like it is.
Call it like it is. Yeah.
Call it like it is. It's so much about, on some level, we feel as our role as men changes that we need to find new ways to express ourselves. And I also have to acknowledge I'm musically inclined. I grew up in musical theater. I'm a professional wrestler. I've done acting. I've done writing. I can be a big bastard and talk to you about how great the Jets are or are not playing right now. But I have other sides of me. And I think it's important for everybody, you, me, and otherwise, to acknowledge that we have those sides. And it's okay to lean into them once in a while if it brings us peace.
Well, and it's also, if I was to go back to the day we first met,
Yeah.
Go back in time and say, hey, little guy, just so you know, you are going to have a horrible time in 2008. You're going to lose the gym because everyone's losing their businesses and the world's twisted and topsy-turvy. And when you go to save your business and when you bring in some partners, you are going to be on paper. You're going to work with a former professor of yours, and they're going to get busted for sexual assault, and then you're going to lose everything.
I know.
You know, and you're just like, oh. And as you progress through your career, you're going to learn things that you're going to apply and get better at, and you're going to learn. Well, and you know what's funny is some of the stuff that I do in my career now, Nightfall Productions.
Yep.
You were the catalyst for me being like, when you said, Jordan, this isn't difficult, you could do this.
Yeah.
You know, because I was looking for people like, oh, I gotta pay you to make some of this social media. When social media was like this mystic, and our children do it.
How does Twitter work?
Oh, bro, but isn't that the funniest thing? When Twitter came out, everyone was like, "This is stupid. I'll never use this. It'll never take off." Like, I can't.
Who knew somebody would buy it for $8 billion and then turn into a shithole? Anyways,
I was like, I'll pets do that, but like, whatever. Anyway, here is the crux of it, though, right? You get to a point. You said it best when your job as a human, as a male, changes, and it's finding those people with so much talent and being like, you've got the tiger by the tail, but let me introduce you to all of the people that had the tiger by the tail, made all of the money, blew that money because they couldn't wrap their brain around not being him anymore.
Yeah.
And didn't find things that made them happy and make their soul sing, so that they could put their time and effort into that. And I can't imagine just being the guy I was in my 20s and raising two daughters. I got a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old, right?
Right.
Like, and connect to them with what? You know, like, be the best or don't be around me? Like that, like, I wasn't horrible back in the day, but like, hard to make time for people that were like, oh, it hurts to go to I don't want to,
Boy, do I relate to that. I am.
Yeah.
Like I joked all the time, when I was younger, when I was newly married and stuff. My ex-wife and I had talked about, like, we were 25 to 30. It's like, should we talk about having kids? And I knew full well I was too selfish. I knew it. Like, I'm like, look, I love kids. I love my nieces and nephews. I loved her nephews. I still do. They're old men now. They're grown men now, which is fucked. But it's like, I knew that I was like, I'm trying to go to Japan. I'm trying to get booked.
Yeah.
I want to do my own thing, right? Like, I had a full-time job, but it was one that I was willing to go at, like, the drop of a hat if a better opportunity came along, right?
Yeah.
That's no responsible way to be a dad. Not a good one, in my opinion.
It's not only that, it's what are you teaching them? Like, if you don't make time for a holistic you, because you weren't writing the books back then.
No.
You weren't doing anything other than what's my next win? What's my next thing for me that's gonna, like, how do I stay this big? And and it became, and that's, I think, the crux of age is you look at it and you're like, you can have joy from so many other places. And like I say, for me, funny story, I built a learning management system.
Yep.
I did the coding. I learned to code.
Yeah.
Me.
I know. It's crazy.
Built a prototype that is now utilized by 2 national organizations, and we're like, if I go back to myself back then and say, the wellness stuff fortunately sticks around and takes off and does well, and I get to do seminars and I get to go public speak, and that was something I always wanted to have as a goal, because I love talking to people about health and the wellness side of it. As much as I joke around about, like, I did love getting people to take the small baby steps.
Oh God, yeah.
Because it's back 20 years ago, it was, if you take this small step now, you will be bench pressing 2 plates, 3 plates, because that's everyone's goal, right? It's huge. Be able to
little muscles, yeah.
Man, there's footage of me on breakfast television,
Yeah.
doing jump squats with 225.
Oh, yeah.
And it was, what was the point of that?
Well, your hip flexors were crazy back then.
Yeah, sure. But it was, it's like these things that you do and it's on video. But going back to that kid there and being like, you're going to find joy in other things. You're going to find joy in learning new skills and having accomplishments. You're going to find joy in solving problems and using your brain a whole lot more.
Yeah.
And I always did. But now it's like you're going to be able to do that. And you're going to find ways to stay at peace while doing it. And you're going to teach that to 2 young girls and show them that, yes, Dad still can throw a solid punch if needed.
That's right.
I used to be able to throw 20. I can throw 1 or 2. Let's slow down. Dad will always be that animal, yes, if needed to be. But Dad is the kindest, wonderful, just soft mush pal that no one gets to see.
But here's something I'm going to add to that, right? But before I do, I just want to say, Brandon Lauren is right. It does sound dangerously like growth with the stuff that we're talking about. And I think all of us were terrible humans when we were in our 20s. It's true. And yeah, but that's right. The point of the growth is not to have to throw those punches. And I realize they're listening to us talk. You're an MMA coach, and I've been a pro wrestler my whole adult life, basically. Throwing hands is kind of what I do. My favorite thing about being a dad today, for my daughter, who's now 12 and hopefully sleeping upstairs, is tonight I went to watch her play basketball, and she had her 2 games. This is my Wednesday night ritual right now, everybody. They've heard me talk about it for 3 weeks now. It's I get to watch these girls run up and down the court on all their different skill levels, and I get to watch them go, and I get to I can now see the things there that, it's like the different levels they're at, the level of skills they're having, and I sit there a little self-conscious because I'm the gray-haired old man that, if I was this age back when I was that age, I'm like, oh, whose grandfather came to the show? I'm like, yeah, there isn't another parent in this crowd that isn't looking at me when my daughter comes over and goes, oh no, that girl's going to be safe for her entire goddamn life. You know what I mean, right? Because I take pride in knowing that 50, yes, by the time she's 26, I'm still going to be able to throw hands. Not that I want to.
Yeah.
Not that I take any pride in that ability anymore. Yes. I'm now finally at the Obi-Wan Kenobi point where I can go, now, why don't I buy you a drink? Oh, you don't want the drink? Well, then I will take your arm off. But that was not my first, second, or third option. But it is the one that I have in my back pocket should I require it.
Yeah.
And I think that's really that's the real telltale sign, I think, of wisdom for men. We're beyond the bluster. We're beyond the point where we need to wave our dicks in people's faces, metaphorically or otherwise. And we just know. Right? The guys that were the scariest when I was younger were the guys that did not have to show it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, come on, let's not do this. I mean, if you want to, sure, but no, that's not my first, second, or third response anymore. That's right.
And you have to be so comfortable in your own skin and have those. And I've been saying this because when I met my wife too, she was just like, oh, I can't imagine you ever fighting. And then she's seen videos and whatever, and she's seen me work a heavy bag, and she's just like, you get that. And this was the thing, is the more skill you have in combative arts and aggression, the more kindness you can muster.
Oh,
I find, because you're just like, you can get pushed to a point where you're just like, no, you know what? Yeah, okay. And you can be the guy that's just like, my ego's not here, so you want me to walk over there so I'm not in your face because for some reason you got whatever issue I don't mind. Yeah, I got nothing to prove anymore.
Exactly.
I'm good.
Well, yeah. The funny thing is we had nothing to prove back then either, but we did. Well, yeah, but not to the world, to ourselves.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Every time I ever got in a situation like that when I was younger, I got to prove this. I can't look like an idiot. Well, you look like a bigger idiot now.
So true.
Right?
So true.
All right.
Yeah. Got to lift heavy, got to do all that, because why? Because why?
like the thing that I preach now to the kids that I coach, kids, they're not all children, but whatever. Like at Blaze Pro Wrestling in our training and wrestling academy, and I love, for the record, I'm now at the point where I love coaching. Helping them makes me better in every way. But my favorite thing I always tell them is like, stronger isn't better, faster isn't better, flashier isn't better. Better is better. And I don't need, like, I understand, like, from a wrestling perspective, I love the Will Ospreys. I love watching the guys do the triple Lindies. I love watching the guys, guys and girls, that can lay their bodies on the line and take the big risks.
Mm-hmm.
But what I love the best is when people can get in there and they can make it look snug and they can make it look believable and they can make the people that are 10 feet away in the front row go, oh, damn. Because that's the job. That's the job, right?
Yeah,
eventually you can progress to that point, but you don't get there without doing the stuff in the middle first, right? You don't without getting that stuff going. So,
and that is the thing we have not even touched on, and I don't think we're going to get time in this conversation. But it's that expert level.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's the part that's the most fun is when you're the guy in the room and somebody's like, well, "What do you think?" And you're like, "What are you looking at me for?"
Hey, 20 years ago is when I first started having guys come up and go, hey, what do you think about this? I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like, well, you're the veteran. You've been here a decade. I'm like, a decade? I barely know shit. No, I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. I got some thoughts. Right?
Yeah, and you don't know what you don't know.
You don't know.
And then once you learn it, now you're the man.
Oh, and let me ask you this one thing, and then I have a question after this, but I'll start with this one first. So, like, penultimate question here. Isn't it great being at the point in your life where it's like, not everything is a big deal anymore?
Yeah.
Like, real life stresses and all that other bullshit. Even the most stressful thing I'm dealing with right now, which I will not mention because it's nobody's fucking business, but the most stressful thing I'm dealing with right now, it's like a 3 on the scale, right? It's like, it's there, it's important, but it doesn't define me who I am.
Yeah.
I know who I am. I know that situation I'm dealing with is not a result of me being a bad person. Isn't it nice for, like, I think that's the real wisdom that these gray hairs in the face and the beard and the hair come from, and just this area provide. I think it really provides me anyway with that sense of calm. It's like, you've been here, you've been through some shit. Yeah. This is just another thing, and it will not affect your peace in the long term.
Well, I think that's so. It's funny because our babysitter was over today, and I love this girl. She is a champion, and she plays soccer at a high level. She's fantastic. Hey, and like, we had the discussion on what sport has become, because she's going through this thing right now where her coaches are not good coaches, and this is the problem. A lot of bad coaches get into sport.
Yeah,
and it's the worst thing, because the coach can control how much joy you have from sport.
Absolutely.
But sports is supposed to teach you how to lean on a team, and even if it's a solo sport, if you're playing tennis or whatever, you have the team around you, the coaches and everything, where you learn how to lean on people and get supported through big events that are causing stress. But sports is also supposed to take you to the deep water and show you that you can win.
Yes.
And until it's, like, this is what I love about jiu-jitsu, is I get choked out all the time because I'm like, I'm terrible. So, and there's a lot of talent out there. But like you're saying, you start to learn, I'm going to see this again, and I'm going to beat it again. And if I'm over my head, I'll call a friend. I will. And I think if I'm, in retrospect, that's what it is. The second that I start to see a repeated pattern, that before I'd be like, I got this, I'm a champion. Now it's like, oh, this thing, and wife, friends, something. Before it presses down, let's deal with it. Not not me doing it, being a hero.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I think that's true wisdom. Like, for every time I see a reel online or somebody going out there going, nobody knows the fucking stress that this man has to go through in order to make his family happy. I'm like, hey, asshole, maybe your family just wants you to be able to say every once in a while, I'm doing the best I can, but I could use a little help.
Yeah.
Right? Do you ever think that maybe if they love you as much as you love them, they want to help you?
Well, it's funny. It's funny that you say that. This is like my wife and I. We do couples counseling all the time.
Sure.
And the whole crux of it is exactly what you described it. She'd be like, "Oh, I'm mad at him because he was mad at me." I'm like, "I wasn't mad at you. I had a bad week." And she said, "Well, say something. Don't walk around the house stomping your feet. Don't be a dick." Yeah. And it's so funny because I repeat the process. I have something doesn't go right over here. I get grumpy over here. And it's with the ones you love because you're safe. So you're like, whatever, I can be myself.
They're the people you can be a dick around because they're going to forgive you on some level, right?
And then they stop after a while.
Yeah, eventually, like, hey,
say, we're going to therapy. You're going to learn to talk about your emotions. But this is the thing, right? Is now, like, I would say every single human being comes to that crux in, and like, I had relationships that weren't divorces just because we didn't get married. They were and like,
any breakup sucks balls. Any breakup sucks.
This is it. Yeah. And you look at it and you're like, man, it was me. I was the part of the problem.
Yeah.
But more of the problem than I thought it was, because I was like, I'm perfect. I got this. I'm doing everything for everyone. I'm balancing all of this stuff, and I'm showing up to parties I don't want to go to, and I'm life of the party.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, it's that learning that little extra little bit about, like, hey, it's okay. That it's okay to not be okay. I hate that expression. It's a truism, but like,
it's true.
It has to also be followed with, you can talk about it and have some fun. As my wife walks in, because I told her I'd be done by
Hi, Tess. Sorry, we'll be done. Sorry. Here. All right, fine. Then let's wrap this up because I don't want to. It is getting late, and I didn't realize.
No,
it's all right. Fine.
She probably just wants to watch Bridgerton or something, and you're saving me from.
I mean, I do like a Renee Jean Page as much as the next lady, but it's all right. Yeah. All right. To Diekman 10, thank you. It is a great show. We're having a good time here. And yes, again, thank you to everybody live who's hanging out here with us. Let me ask you, now that we've talked a little bit about mental health, our aging, the changes in our fitness and our opinion on the fitness industry. One day next time we get together, I would like to just talk about like how our philosophies on the fitness industry and our own fitness has changed over the course of time. Let's put a pin on that for something down the road. Let's do a fitness specific one.
So we can sell it though. I hate the fitness industry. Anyway.
Sure, we can do that. We can do that. We can talk about that too.
Yeah.
We can shit on people. I don't care. I'm going to burn another bridge. It's fine. One thing that we have in common that I love, you have those two little girls, and I've got one who's probably could babysit them if you needed help. But sounds like you've got one in hand. So
two.
I'll leave that alone.
You got two.
Oh, look at you. All right, good for you guys. What is your favorite thing about being a girl dad that you did not expect going into it?
The whole thing. Okay. Like, I start to finish, that level of pride just in a human for just existing is wonderful.
Isn't that right?
And like vice versa, when they're just like, because my oldest has gotten in the last little while to that age of really, when they hit 4, 5, and 6, they start worrying about themselves and they operate in the community. And just when she'll just be like, Dad, I love you. Yeah. Like, why? Like, you don't know anything about me. And they're just like, no, you exist and I want you around.
Yeah.
Like, that's but like, there isn't, and like, man, do they test my patience and like when I'm in a rush to get somewhere, you're like, Because I'm a pretty laid back. I'm a pretty laid back guy. I don't know if that's coming through in this conversation, but I live my life at around a 2 or a 3. I'm relaxed, smiling, happy, laughing. Only person on this planet that can get me to a 10 like that is my daughter, and she's just as good at it. But I don't know, man. Like, what part of it? Just being asked by the human you helped create to play.
I know.
Like, hey, come spend time with me. Me? Yeah. Just genuinely. Yeah.
I hear you. Yeah, it's as my daughter rounds the corner into teenagerdom, it is.
Bro, I remember seeing you in Assiniboine Park pushing the stroller.
Oh yeah. Now she would do that for her cousins. It's true. It's wild. Man. I love the fact that my daughter's at the age where, yes, she's got her own friends and her own life, and she's very busy between all of her activities, whether it's basketball in school or dance or whatever. But she loves when it's our time at our house here, where it's like, yeah. Papa, I'm going to sit on the couch next to you with the dog, and we're just going to watch whatever dumb show it is we're watching for an hour. And that's still, I know those days are coming to an end because, any second now it'll be the, I can't be seen in public with you, Father. When we go to the mall, just give me $50 and fuck off. I'm expecting those days to happen soon. Not in those words. Respectful.
Respectfully, Tess keeps telling me that this is going to happen one day. She's like, you just got to prepare yourself. I'm like, no. I'm not expecting it. There's groundwork that is being put in.
Yeah.
That I think they might say, hey, like, I'm here with my friends.
Yeah.
And it's a different vibe that way, but I think I'm going to be cool for a while. And if not,
I'm not cool.
If not, I am in for such a heartbreak.
No, I'm sorry. No, I'm not cool. She loves me. She respects my opinion. She comes to watch Daddy wrestle now and seems to enjoy it, but she more enjoys the prettier boys, if you know what I mean. Won't say it out loud. I understand that. I get the respectful, I still like you, Daddy. You're fine. We still go to the movies and do fun stuff as well, but
yeah.
I'm not cool, and that's okay. I don't want to be cool. I want to be your dad.
Well, heck yes. Well said. That is goal one. Is we ain't got to be friends. We got to be family, and yeah.
That's all right. And my second favorite thing is I still get my toenails painted all ridiculous colors. It's all good.
That was another thing. I'm like, how I get offered daily. Dad, do you want your nails done? I'm like, yeah.
The answer's always yes. The answer's always yes. I don't care. Right now, they're if anybody saw them, they're a lovely aquamarine and purple. I don't know what they are. Like, it's fancier now. Back when she was about the age of your eldest, it was done with highlighters, and that was fun. Made it halfway up to my ankles, but that's okay.
My absolute favorite thing,
is
the funny things that they say.
Oh God!
It just any. This is the one right now, and I'm going to make a push to have the word changed.
Okay.
Betty calls chopsticks chomp sticks.
Sounds about right.
I'm like, that makes way more sense than chopsticks.
Yeah.
Unless somebody can explain to me why it's a chopstick, I'm taking a chomp with the sticks.
She's not wrong.
Not wrong.
She's not wrong. I get it. That makes total sense. No, I don't have anything like that, thankfully, but we could again, we'll do a whole other episode on fitness, and we'll do another one about funny things our kids have said. The spoiler alert for that one being a little girl's voice in the back one time saying to me, "Papa, why are you giving that man your middle finger?"
Hey, can we? So Betty used to say when she was about 3 years old, when she was hungry, or she was like, "I want that in my mouth," right? So we're at Walmart. I love pistachios. Okay. Fun fact. Pistachios come in a black. They come in a black bag.
They do.
Daddy, do you want these black nuts in your mouth?
Well, you win. You win today. I'll find another one.
But here's the fun part.
Yeah.
She's at the bag of nuts, which is at the far end of the aisle. So she shoots it to me.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
No.
I was like,
I
let's take
believe,
those
the
home.
I believe the answer to that is maybe later.
You know I do.
That's right. Okay. I think we've taken up of your time, Jordan. It sounds like your wife's trying to get in, and I don't want to interrupt you guys going anymore. Jordan, we've been pals for 20 years.
Yeah.
Knowing you has been a pleasure. Getting to grow old and have different, well, not old yet, but getting to grow older and wiser and getting to share friendships with you has been really nice. Being able to see you develop as a father and as a husband and going through all of our changes has been great. We don't do workout dates anymore, but we are overdue for a movie mandate. So at some point in time, let's find one that works, okay?
Well, and I was going to say Avengers, the new Avengers, the trailer, but I'm like, we shouldn't probably wait a year.
We probably don't have to wait till December. It's true. Yeah, that's all good. All right. Jordan, do you have anything you want to plug before I let you go?
Yeah.
No, you're good?
Yeah. Good.
You're good.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Please, if you follow Jordan online, he's got a great. He used to be very good about having baby Betty online and like getting the.
She still is.
She's still there. Okay, so if you can find Jordan on Instagram, you can see his
And
little
now
growth
Rock-
progression over the years. That's fantastic.
Rachel also. Rocky's online as well. And the dogs.
I blanked out Rocky's
three.
name. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Baby Rachel. We call her Baby Rocky.
That's fantastic.
And the three pups.
And your dogs too. God damn it. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I just have the one dog and the one daughter. You have been lapping me this whole time. Thank you for sticking around this long. I really appreciate everybody's patience. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you, everybody watching live. It really means a lot. This has been my friend Jordan Cieciwa. We're going to talk fitness, the fight game, and fatherhood. I am the Outlaw Adam Knight. February 27th in Winnipeg. I will be defending the Blaze Pro Wrestling Canadian Heavyweight Championship against TNA's Cody Deaner. I also have books online. Please just check out the links in my description below. I appreciate all of you. Jordan, thank you so much for your time tonight. Tess, I'm so sorry for keeping this going for as long as I have. You guys have been great.